Hello everyone, my name is Ben. I finally got the chance to sit down and check out the brand new update to SCP Secret Lab 13.2. Now, we're still on refracted reality, so this is a minor update, but here's a quick rundown of some of the changes you can expect to see. As always, I documented our recent foray into the facility, and I've inserted moments that highlight some of the new content that's available, which includes a new weapon, modifications to SCP-939, improvements to the MTF classes, bug fixes, custom hotkeys, and other game improvements. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I'm going to be moving in the same order as the patch notes. So first up are the changes to SCP-939, aka the dog. The Claw's area of effect, or AoE, has been changed slightly. It says here that they've adjusted how Claw's area of effect is calculated. The target close to the crosshair will always receive 100% of the damage. Further targets within the AoE will take 100% of the damage, split across the number of targets. For example, if there's 5 players within the AoE, the closest target will receive the full amount of damage, while the other 4 targets will each receive 25% damage. Also, SCP-939 is now able to damage players under the effects of SCP-268, that is the invisibility hat. So users of the hat beware, which includes myself because the hat is like my favorite item in the game. Focus changes. SCP-939 now emits a growling noise after it uses focus. Initially silent, the growling will become more apparent over the following 10 seconds after it uses focus. Growling buildup will regress after 5 seconds of leaving focus. SCP-939 can now hear its own growls as well. Hopefully this gives users of the dog more incentive to use the MIMICRY skill to confuse enemy players as to the location of the dog. Ultra-sensitive changes. Players revealed by SCP-939 in close proximity no longer produce sound blips. Humans that are jumping, sprinting, or firing a weapon within 4 meters of the dog will now be revealed. This effect reduces the dog's reduced visual radius from running low on stamina. Humans within the surface zone who fail to produce a sound blip naturally within 20 seconds now begin to emit a sound blip every 10 seconds. The effect will last until a sound blip is produced naturally. Once the alpha warhead is detonated, all humans will be permanently revealed to the dog. Dog will no longer see sound blips from a user underneath the effects of SCP-268, the hat. Amnesia changes. Amnesia, the effect caused by amnestic cloud, will no longer prevent humans from reloading or healing. Dog will now be made briefly visible to everyone underneath the effects of amnesia when attacking, regardless of whether an attack is successful or not. A player with the invigorated status effect is now immune to amnesia as originally intended. Alright, and then the miscellaneous changes to SCP-939. They've reduced the dog's sprinting speed slightly. They've increased the base speed slightly. They've increased the stamina to a total of 15 seconds. Players hit by the dogs are now marked for 5 seconds. Marked players will still grant their voice lines to the dog even if they are killed by another SCP. Also added an on-screen pop-up whenever the dog successfully steals a voice. That's actually a really nice feature. I love that they've added the ability for the dog to assist in the killing of a target and still receive the voice lines from that person. I think that's amazing. Unfortunately, I did not spawn in as the dog the last time that we played the game, so I didn't really get to see any of the changes from the dog's point of view, but I did play as the dog's partner for one round, and it was really nice just being able to kill without worrying about stealing kills from the dog or stealing the dog's ability to use people's voice lines. I'm gonna go ahead and include a clip here. There's actually a specific moment. I was Peanut, I had killed an enemy right in front of the dog.
Okay, well that was it?
As soon as I was about to apologize for stealing the kill,
To Dog and Peanut. Ban hacks. Okay, well that was
nice. The dog started using the voice.
ban hacks.
I wasn't sure if you had got that one, you know, from the person that I had killed, and it like blew my mind until I realized, oh yeah, that's right, this is one of the changes in the update. So very nice feature.
Is the assist thing working for dog now? Where you can get voices if your teammate gets assists?
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Actually, I must have.
It did work earlier.
Oh, shit.
Oh, good.
I also like the addition of the on-screen pop-up because I feel like so many times people who play as the dog totally forget to use the stolen voices because they just get so caught up in, you know, murdering the enemies. Overall, I feel pretty good about the changes that the devs have made to the dog. Kind of seems like they've always kind of had an idea of how they want the dog to play and feel, and these changes are just moving it ever so slightly into the right direction for them. All right, so now we're going to move on to the rest of the gameplay gameplay changes and improvements. First of all, they added the FRMG-0, which is a new LMG, which replaces the MTF Captain's Rifle. Oh, Cyber, you got the new gun!
I do?
Yeah!
That's what the Knights of Fox Captain gets.
Wow.
Look at that double drum
Can I kill
magazine.
somebody? I want to test it on somebody.
No, shoot at the old man. Now this is the change that I'm most personally excited about in a first-person shooting game. Obviously, the addition of a new gun is gonna make me happy. I just love having more options available when it comes to a firefight. And this change in particular, I think, is good for a number of reasons. First of all, it helps to balance some of the disparity between MTF and Chaos. I feel like a lot of players prefer the Chaos just because of the variety of weaponry and just the overall power output of some of the guns that Chaos spawns in with. I'm thinking of like the Logicer and the shotgun and the revolver. Those are all really fun guns to use. On the flip side, it seemed like the MTF didn't really have a whole lot of different guns to work with. So the addition of a new LMG, I'm super excited about it. I got the chance to use it, to see it, and to hear it in action. Holy fuck, that gun sounds scary. And it's really good. I like it a lot. Dude, this gun is awesome. I also like how it adds another layer of excitement to spawning in as the captain. Ooh. Captain gun, captain, my captain. Not only do you get one of the few key cards that gives you access to the micro HID, but now you have a shiny new, awesome, effective gun ready to use at your fingertips the moment you spawn in. You don't have to get your hands on the micro. You already have something cool and something to look forward to being a captain. The gun itself is super smooth. It's super powerful. It has a really crazy sound effect. As I was using it, I noticed that, you know, they've added some muzzle flashes to the guns, which makes it a little bit more realistic, a little bit more immersive. Definitely one of the new additions that I am the most excited about. Every time I spawn in with an MTF wave, I either hope that I'm the captain or I just, you know, I can't wait to get my hands on the gun whenever the captain dies and I can loot their body. Oh, I got your gun. Also, that new gun is smooth.
Oh.
I was getting ready and the stupid Tesla got me.
Yeah, that's when I picked it up off your dead body. All right, next up, added a new custom hotkey system allowing users the option to customize their own hotkeys and item drawing criteria. This is awesome. I love having more options at my disposal. All right, moving on, renamed the MTF Sergeant Keycard to MTF Operative Keycard. Got an Operative Keycard.
Ooh.
So fancy and new. It's literally just a sergeant card.
It just says
Also remove the MTF Private and Containment Engineer keycards from standard play. MTF Privates now spawn with the Operative Keycard instead of a private keycard.
I'm a private.
No such thing as private. Private. This is another welcome change. There have been so many instances where players have been either trapped on the surface zone or, you know, trapped in the facility for whatever reason, and they can't get through because all they have is a private card. I've literally witnessed rounds where the only players left is one private trapped on the surface zone and the SCP is still alive in the facility, and neither one of them can get to each other to fight because the private can't get through with their card. So I think it definitely makes sense to consolidate the cards and their uses and, you know, who gets these cards. We also have some slight changes to the 914 recipes regarding the key cards. Putting in a black key card, captain key card, or the chaos card on rough will now result in the guard key card. Putting a guard key card in 914 on fine will result in receiving an MTF operative key card. All other instances of receiving a containment engineer keycard from 914 have been replaced by a facility manager keycard. Now, all these changes definitely make sense in light of the addition of the new operative keycard. It's so funny, I actually had to look up what the containment engineer keycard was specifically. It's like this light red keycard. It's like the weaker version of the facility manager keycard, and it makes sense that they got rid of it. I feel like I never saw this item used in the game that I can recall. I feel like the only times I've ever even seen a containment engineer keycard was on the ground in 914 because people died in the middle of upgrading it. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone leave 914 with this keycard thinking to themselves, yeah, this is gonna do the job. Like, everyone would just stick around to make the next level up or be patient to get a black keycard. So yeah, this definitely makes sense as well. All right, the next really big change to this update, at least one of the most noticeable changes, the Chaos Insurgency now count as partial targets for the SCPs. Roughly 75% of a Chaos Insurgency wave must die for a round can end. Now, this one is definitely a game changer for, you know, the later stage of the game. I think it makes sense. Sometimes spawning in as chaos would be fun. Like I said earlier, you get really cool weapons, but I can't tell you how many times I was a chaos member and the round would just end because we weren't a part of the action. We weren't the required targets for the SCPs. Yeah, like sometimes chaos just feels like they get skipped over in the late stages of the game. So I feel like this definitely streamlines how the endings of the round will go. Keep shooting.
Watch him charge at you.
Oh!
Good job, Will.
Oh my god!
We just had to get one.
It wasn't uncommon for the chaos to side with the SCPs solely because chaos wasn't a specific target for the SCP. Sometimes it would work out for both parties to team up and go against the MTF together. I feel like now with this new rework, that is never gonna happen, or almost rarely gonna happen. All of the instances that I witnessed so far with this new update between the SCPs and Chaos have almost immediately erupted in gunfire and violence. It's pretty cut and dry now what's gonna happen between Team Chaos and Team SCP, and honestly, I'm all here for it. Sometimes the weird, uneasy alliances between Chaos and SCP could lead to some fun or interesting moments, but I think overall, I prefer the simplicity of just knowing that you're on opposing teams and you should be fighting each other and not having weird, confusing alliances with each other. That's just my opinion. This new gameplay change also adds another layer of whether or not Team SCP is aware of the existence of Chaos in the building. Now that Chaos counts as targets, the SCPs can use that number indicator to see whether Chaos is spawned. If the number goes up and there's no MTF fanfare, then the SCPs can be pretty certain that they have to deal with Chaos pretty soon. More Chaos just spawned in. No, the number jumped up.
Oh, okay.
And since there was no like announcement for the MTF, that means that it's definitely Chaos. Next up, upon Alpha Warhead detonation, the next respawn wave will be forced to a 4-minute countdown regardless of the respawn timer prior to detonation. Okay, this change is very brief. Added the A7. Now I looked it up really briefly. The A7 is a new firearm you can only get in 914. The only way to get it is to put an AK on course, and even then it's only a 50% chance that the A7 will actually spawn for you. Now, the last time I played, I only had one real chance to go down into light containment as a Chaos with my AK to try to get this gun. Pretty sure it's just a joke weapon, and you get it from 914, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can go back there and make that gun. Probably gonna die along the way. And it ended up in failure. There's zombies dead ahead. Oh, damn it. Well, there goes my chance of making that new gun. So hopefully I can try to pull it off one of these days. All in all, it seems like a very, very slim chance, a very rare situation for this gun to pop up in the game naturally, just because it's so uncommon for an AK to show up in the facility. You have to be a Chaos that spawns in with it, and then you also have to make it all the way back into light containment before the decontamination goes off. Next on the list, the concussed status effect will now decay when standing still. They also added visible light flash to all first-person and third-person weapon animations. I like that one, especially with the new gun in particular. It's really cool looking. SCP-106's containment doors can now be broken by a grenade. I did not even realize that it was impervious to grenades. Well, this makes a lot of sense now, and definitely gives you more options to get into that room, or out of that room for that matter. Last up on this particular list, removed SCP-079 generator spawns from the Alpha Warhead room. A generator may now spawn in the hallway alongside the elevator. Okay, I feel like they made this change just so so that the Alpha Warhead room isn't too much of a hotspot in the later stages of the game. I feel like with the detonation button there, and if you have like 1 or 2 of the generator spawns also in that warhead room, it's just like so chaotic. Like it's just such a hotspot for players to try to defend or attack. So I feel like this kind of helps that situation out. There's also a pretty sizable list of miscellaneous changes here as well. I recommend you go ahead and read these for yourself in the patch notes. So a couple of the things that I've noticed just skimming through this list, they changed some of the recipes for the AK in 914. Putting in the MTF rifle on fine will result in receiving the FRMG0, which is the new captain gun, instead of the AK. Also, placing a Logicer in 914 on course will result in the new captain gun instead of the AK. So it seems like they replaced the AK with the captain gun for a couple of these 914 recipes. And lastly, here is a big list of the bug fixes. I recommend you take a look at these yourself. I'm not going to go over every single one, but a few of the interesting ones. They fixed the gate in PT00 automatically opening if Peanut spawned in a round. This is so weird because I would go up into that room and notice that sometimes the gate would be open and sometimes it would be closed, and I had never made the connection that it was whether or not Peanut had spawned in the round with me. That's crazy. I kind of wish I had known this beforehand. Oh, they fixed night vision scopes not properly being able to see in darkness. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. I feel like the scopes were a little borky before this update, so that's good to know. Also, SCP-049 and 049-2 can now interact with frozen corpses. That's good to know. I did not ever run into that problem personally, but this definitely makes sense. I feel like they should be able to interact with people that died from the cold. All right, that will do it for all of the changes and updates for this new version of SCP Secret Lab 13.2. All in all, I think that they're welcome additions, and if not, they definitely make sense in the grand scheme of things. It seems like the dog is moving closer to how the devs have envisioned it working within the game, so that's always good. I definitely love the inclusion of a new gun for the MTF. I love that it's a captain exclusive thing. It makes it a lot more exciting to spawn in as the captain. Super excited to be using it in the future. I'm also happy with the change of Chaos being listed as targets for Team SCP. It just makes everything a lot smoother in the later stages of the game. Leads to more exchanges and more firefights between the Chaos and the SCP that will lead to less uneasy alliances that kind of break the way that the game was intended to be played. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for tuning in with me. My name is Ben. Hope you all have a good one, and I'll catch y'all for the next one. Take care.